Conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, good morning. Any doubts from previous topics? In our last session, we are talking about module pool programming. So when we go and use module pool programming, whenever business not satisfied with the solution what provided by SAP and they need a custom solution to be built, and in that case, we will go and create module pool programming. So how do we work with module pool programming? The steps are very simple. So there are four major steps we have. If you wanted to work with module pool programming, first you need to create a program using SE38. What type of program you have to create? The type of program is module pool. And step two, you have to design your screen. So where we will design screen design we can do in SE51. And step three, create your menus, where we will design our menus in SC41. And finally, go and create a T code. So this T code is going to use by end user using SC93 transaction. And in the initial days, suggested to go with this individual T code so that you will understand in which T code what we will do. And later point of time, if you have experience, you can use only one single transaction, that is SC80. Using SC80 transaction, you can create module pool program, you can create screen, you can create menus, and everything we can do through SC80 transaction under function group. So that thing we will discuss in coming days. First, as an initial part, go and use individual transaction codes. And to perform these steps, we need a scenario. So what is the scenario which it will help us to understand this module pool programming very easy? So the scenario which we already know, and we worked many other programs using that example. The scenario is we are going to create a transaction code where end users can use and perform arithmetic calculations. So end users, they want a transaction GARTH, and using this transaction code they wanted to perform arithmetic calculations. When end users enter this T code, a screen will come like this, and inside this screen, they wanted to see inputs and result, as well as they wanted to see buttons, addition, subtraction, multiplication. If you want, you can also implement division button, and input they'll enter 30. So the screen will be look like this. We need to design screen where user is going to enter inputs in a fields input 1, input 2, and then we have to display result in another field, so that is result field, and as well as they need buttons. So each button, it has to perform a different functionality: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and if you want, you can also implement division and refresh. So when users select refresh, the entries whatever we have in the screen has to be removed and it has to be 0. So that is what the functionality of refresh. Now if you observe here, the terminology is very important. What was the terminology? So what we are seeing here, we will be seeing a screen first. So this is screen, and what else we can see here, and we also able to see buttons. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all are push buttons where user can select and is expecting a respective result. And then whatever this input 1, input 2, input result, these are called text fields. So these are text fields because this is a just text where we can read and understand. And these are 10, 20, 30. These are called our input data objects, where data which we are going to enter. So in a screen, the detailing of each and everything is very important so that you can able to understand. So in top, we are going to enter exit, cancel, menus. So these are called menus, and these are menu buttons. now we will see which one will be created in which transaction. So transaction code GARTH, which is going to created in transaction SC93 transaction, and menu where we will create menus. Menu will be created in SC41 transaction, and where we will design screen. So screen will be made in SC51 transaction, and input data objects where this input data objects we will create in SC38 transaction. And these push buttons, text fields, or this screen, we will design all these things we can design in transaction SC51 T code. So these are the major T codes we will use in this module pool programming. So now, as per the steps, what we need a module full program. So why we need module full program? Because we wanted to create a screen, and it has to be consider data objects where it can take inputs from the user. So I will need to create a module full program, and in this program how many data objects I have to create. There are three data objects are required. Two are for inputs and one for output. So always you need to check in your screen how many data objects are required. Based on the data objects, you need to go and create these data objects in module pool programming. Let me connect into SAP. Module pool program. We have to design screen. So go to SE38 and then create your program. So my program name I'm going to give as module pool program for arithmetic calculation, and then click on create the program to understand screen program, and then click on. So now here it is important, you need to select type as module pool program. Okay, because the program which we are going to create is a module pool, so you need to select module pool program and click on save as local object. Now save, and inside module pool program, now you have to create your data objects. How many data objects are required? I need three data objects. So first one is lv num type I, and lv num2 type I, and result type I. So this is lv num1 is a input variable, lv num2 is a input variable, and rest is a output variable. So I have created three data objects: pretty printer, save, check, activate. So how many Data objects are required. I need in my arithmetic operations three data objects. So these three data objects I have created using module pool program. So module pool program is done. So we have successfully created our module pool program with the data objects. Now go in a display mode. Okay. So now we are in display mode and parallelly open another transaction where we wanted to create the screen. So next step is we need to create a screen. So screen will be created in SC51 transaction. So execute SC51 transaction. Let me increase this font a little bit. Unable to read it. So close this windows. Options, font settings. So I'll be using 18. Apply. Okay. So let me close and again reload it. So SC38, this is our module pool program with three data objects, and SC51, we are going to create a screen here. So we are creating screen for what? For our module pool program. So use your module pool program. So copy your module pool program and then use it here. What is your module pool program name? So copy this module pool program and then give it here. So using this module pool program, I am going to create a screen. So we can enter screen number from 0 to 999 any screen. I am using screen number 100. Enter screen number 100, click on create. So this is a screen design for arithmetic operations. Enter short description and then click on save. Now if you go to FlowLogic, you can see here there are two main events are there: process before output, process after input. So these are the events which plays key role in module pool programming. I'll explain this events behavior later. So first let me design the screen. So click on layout. So we are into this layout, but this is not the layout what we are expecting. Go to utilities, settings, and uncheck this graphical. Click continue. So this is a newly uh, created server, and I don't know what happened. Let me use the old server. But we need to create from begin. So let me create a model pool program. Arithmetic. We don't have. Click on create. So ARTH operations using model pool program, and type is model pool. Save as local object. So data lv num1 type I, lv num2 type I, result type I, pretty print, save, check, activate. So we are done with the model pool program. So copy this model pool program, go to SC51 for screen designing, enter this model pool program and the screen which you wanted to design, click on create. So this is screen design for arithmetic operations. Enter mandatory short description, click on save. Now click on layout for the layout design. So this is what the layout, it has to come like this. Okay. So once you are into this layout editor, you have to select option, the second one, dictionary or program. So you need to select this one, and you have an option get from program. Click here, get from program. So now you can see when you click on get from program, so in the program how many data objects you have created, these data objects are coming for you. lvnum, lvnum2, res, these are the three data objects which we created. And right now in my screen I need these three data objects. So select what are the data objects you need and then click on continue. So now these are your data objects, and enter in the screen level. And if you double click on individual, so you can see here this is lv num, this is lv num2, and this is res. So if you want you can use it same way, or you can also adjust, drag and drop adjustment features are there, so that you can provide some gap and all. So this is n1, num2, and then this is result. So we have added our data objects in the screen, but what is required, we wanted to add push buttons and the text fields. So how can we add push buttons and text fields? So here you have a text field option, select and then enter. And whenever you see this color which is indicated, it's a mandatory input and we haven't provided. So once you provided mandatory input value, then this will become gray mode, and everything which is turned into gray, then it is an indication there is no error. Now double click on the text field and provide the name for your text field. So this is text1, name I'm giving as text1, and my text field name is input1. So similarly, create one more text field, double click. This is text field 2, name is input2, and one more text field, double click. This is text field 3 and name is result. So inputs and input data objects are ready. Now I have to create buttons. How can we create buttons? Here you have an option push button. Select and then add here. Double click, and what is this? Push button 1. For what? Edition. And why still this is in red color? Because there is a checkbox, there is a information which is FCT code, function code we have to provide. So until unless this will be in red color. So what is this function code? So function code is the identifier to know by the system in the backend which button user interacted on the screen. I just enter ADD for this addition. Similarly, go and create other buttons. This is second one. Double click. This is push button 2, and this is for subtraction, and I am giving SUB as a FCT code. And then third one, this is push button 3. This is for multiplication, and FCT code I am giving as MUL. And one more button I am going to create, push button 4. This is for division, and FCT code I am using as DIV. And one more button I'll create here in the top. So this is push button 5. This is refresh, and I'll be using REF. And if you want, you can also adjust your screen. And these are my push buttons. I'll add little bit. Input 1, input 2, and result. So these are buttons, and this is refresh option. So now my screen design is completed. So let me save and then check and then activate. So once you click on activate, in the backend you can see there is a screen which is opened and it is trying to activate your program screen. So select that, click on active. And once you active, again you have to go to the layout. So you can see here layout is blinking. And once this is active, and then you need to click on flow logic. So now you can see your screen is active. In the layout, you have designed all your data fields wherever it is required. So now I'll add, so this is active only, and I'll make it as display mode. Now I'll go and create a step 3. So step 1 module pull program, step 2 screen design, and step 3 is menu design. So go to SC41 transaction to design menus, enter /o SC41. Now here provide some status. I'll be giving G status, and then click on create. Provide short text, arithmetic screen menus, and then continue. Now here you have all the menu options. So these are called menu options, and this is menu bar, application toolbar, and function keys. So which kind of menus you need, you can go and enable. So right now I'll be enabling application toolbar buttons and application toolbar or function keys. So let me add function keys. So this is back and this is exit. So right now I'll be using two buttons. One is back. Let me add in capital letters everything. exit. Right now I'll be using only two buttons: save, check, activate. So when user is wanted to go back, he will click on back. When user he wanted to come out from the transaction, exit, then he will click on exit. So these two buttons only I'll be enabled, and make sure this is active only, and go in display mode. So right now I have done with the three. So I have created successfully SC38 module pull program, and then screen painter, and then menu painter. So what is the final one? So final one is transaction creation. So how do we create transaction? Go to SC93 and create your transaction G Sanjay ARTH. So this transaction does not exist. So click on create and T code to perform arithmetic operations. Now here, what type of transaction code I have to, transaction type I need to choose. The transaction type is program and DynPro. DynPro is nothing but screen. So we are doing screen programming. So you need to select and go with the first option. Continue. Now here you need to enter your program name, which is you have created. So that is module pull program. Copy and then enter here. So now you need to enter screen number which you have designed for module pull program. So what was the screen number which we have designed for module pull program? That is 100. So if you are not sure what is the screen you have designed, then you can click F4 also. Automatically a screen which is designed for this program which will come here, and then click on save. Save as local object. Now we are done with the module pull program design. So this transaction code just give to end user, then ask end user to test. Then end user, what he will do, he'll come to screen and enter T code and then enter. So now you can see a screen like this where it has few inputs and buttons and refresh, and he is right now ready to test. So when he go for test 10 and 20, click on addition, but his expectation is it has to add logic 10 plus 20, that is 30. But right now there is no logic pattern, so if user select buttons, nothing is happening. And also if observe in the menu, back, exit, we have designed in menu painter, those are not visible. So how can I make these buttons visible, and as well as how can we write the code where user is going to perform actions on the screen? So for this two, we have to use events, PBO and PII. When we use PBO, PBO is event used before loading screen what needs to be displayed, which means when user is trying to enter the transaction, and this transaction is going to call a screen, and when it is calling the screen, it has to display back and exit buttons in the menu. So the menu which you have designed in SE41, that will be enabled when you write logic in the PBO. PBO is responsible before loading the screen what needs to be happen inside the screen, and these menus should come before loading the screen. And once screen is loaded and user will enter data and he will interact with the buttons. So this is after screen displayed. So when user interact with buttons, what needs to be happen, that has to be written in the event PAI. process after input. Before loading screen, whatever you need, you have to write logic in PBO. And once the screen is displayed, what needs to be done in the screen, that logic you have to write in PAI event. So because of this, no logic has been built, we are not able to get menus, we are not able to get button related actions. So let me go and write logic in the screen events. So this is our screen which we have designed using SE51 transaction, where you can see events PBO and PA is there. So just go into the change mode and then uncomment this PBO and PI modules. Now save and double click on PBO event module status 100, double click on status 100, and what it says, this module does not exist. Do you want it to create? Yes, I wanted to create. So now it is asking two things. You want this logic to be created globally, or you need this logic to be created locally. So how you want me to proceed? So system is expecting answer from you. You feel that the logic which you are going to write in the PBO, which can be used by multiple screens, multiple programs, then go with the new include option. Then it is a global program. And if you feel the code what you are going to write, this will only helpful for the GARTH transaction code, then go with the second one. I am choosing the second one because my logic only helpful for my application, and click on continue. Now you can see in your module pool program, automatically your status 100 PBO event which is created, and also there are two logic which is present and which are in commented mode. So this is first one, we need to provide menus, and this event, this logic which is required to pass menus into the screen, and set pf status, whatever you have x within the codes, right, this has to be replaced with your menu. So what is the menu which we have created? So this is the menu status, g status. So copy this g status and then add it here. Now save, check, activate, enter, and as well as come back and save, check, activate. So now program is activated and your screen is activated, and also your menu also activated. So whenever you are going to run your T code, ensure all these three must be in active status. What are those? Your program. So program must be active. And second, your screen should be active. And third, menu. So menu bar also active. So right now all these three are active. Then I'll rerun my T code slash n arithmetic. Now if you see here, buttons are enabled. Why now the buttons are enabled? Because we were using logic inside PBO. We are passing our menu information under PBO. Now before loading the screen, that PBO event is triggered and then it pass menus into our screen. But if I am selecting, is there anything happening on the screen? No. No addition, subtraction, nothing. So why? Because PA event we haven't enabled. So go to again your screen and double click on first get into change mode and double click on PAI event. What it is says, this is does not exist. Do you want it to create? Yes. You want me to create a global one or a local one? I need a local one. Continue. Now you can see this PAI event which is created inside your module pool program. So we created this when we design module pool program, and then PBO event, when we activated, automatically this lines of code is added. Now we are in PI event. So this is the place where we have to write PI event related logic. So now when this logic will trigger when user interacted on the screen. Now you need to write the logic based on user interaction. So what user is usually going to do, he'll enter inputs and click on addition, right? So when he click on addition, we need to perform logic in PAE. So how do we know whether user clicked on addition subtraction in the backend code? Using that function codes in the screen design time we have given, right? Based on that. How do we get that function codes? We can get that function codes using a system variable sciucom. So case sciucom. So this sciucom which will get field value, FCT value of each and every button at runtime when user selected. Now write the logic. When user selected button add, res equal to lv num1 plus lv num2. This is addition logic. Similarly, go and write logic for subtraction. When it is sub, ensure always within the quotes we have to pass capital letters. You should never ever pass small letters. When multiplication into, when division divided by. So last one, when refresh ref, what we are going to do, we are clearing values. So clear lv num1, lv num2. So pretty print, save, check, activate, enter. Now we are done with the logic. So get into display mode and then go back and save, check, activate your screen. Now screen is also active, and before you are going to run your code, ensure all these three are active. Program must be active, screen also active, and the menu also active. Now you can go and run your T code. Slash n, what was our T code name? This one, slash n Sanjay arithmetic. Click on enter. Now go and perform addition. Now you can see when I click on button addition, I am able to perform addition operation. So when I click on subtraction, 45 minus 5, that is 40. And if I enter multiplication, 5 into 5, 25. If I am going for a division, 5 by 5, that is 1. All these operations are I am able to perform. If I click on refresh, I can remove all the values which are present in the screen level. So now how this is possible, if you place breakpoint where in the PBO event of your module pool program and as well as PA event of module pool program. Now you can see the screen flow. So let me close this and then open newly program. slash O, enter. Now you see, before a transaction which is calling screen respective to this T code, event inside the screen PBO which is triggered. So PBO event will trigger before loading the screen, and then it is setting PF status, which is nothing but menu status which you have created, and F8. Now you can see buttons are enabled and screen is displayed. So PBO is responsible before loading the screen, and what needs to be displayed in the screen, that is taken care by the PBO event. And once the screen is displayed, now I wanted to perform addition operation, subtraction operation, multiplication, whatever it is. When I click on addition, now you can see which event is triggered, that is PA event. So user command 100 input is nothing but PA event. In the screen flow also you can see here. So T code which calls screen, and inside the screen user interacted on a button, then PA event is triggered, and inside the PA event we are in the logic part. So user interacted on a button, addition. How do I know user interacted on addition? Because of the system variable SciUCom. So SciUCom is a system variable which will capture a button behind function code. So based on the function code, we can easily identify which button user interacted. Now F6. If it is addition, then we are perform addition operation result, and F8. Now again, if you see, before again loading the screen, again PF status, which is PBO event is triggered. So whenever screen is getting loaded, PBO event will trigger. And whenever user interacted, PA event is triggered. Now I am clicking on refresh. Now what is the SciUCom value? REF. Because user interacted on refresh, F6. Now you can see I am clearing all the data objects value, LV, num1, num2 and res. So clear statement, it will clear all the values inside data object. Now we have 0, F8, and again PBO, F8. Now you can see screen inputs are disabled. So what you have to do, go and today practice this module pool programming. And as I said, understanding before you do anything is important, and there are majorly 4 steps are involved in this. You have to follow each and every step. So in this module pool program, the toughest part is what? It is your screen flow. So we used to do screen design, and sometimes we forget to activate main program. Sometimes we will design menus, we forget to activate SE51 screen. So before you call your transaction code, ensure all these 3 steps which will be completed, and ensure all these are active status. If any one of the thing is inactive and you are trying to execute your transaction code, that will never work. Okay. Any doubts so far today? If no questions, we can wind up for the day. Thank you. Bye.